Africa's land mass spans over 7.5 billion acres. This, however, has given rise to corruption and injustices that threaten the very fabric of our livelihood and integrity as a people.
So the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, that is EACC, has recovered parcels of land forming part of the scenic Chale Island in Kwale County, worth 1.2 billion shillings belonging to the government, which were fraudulently hived off. The commission successfully prosecuted and won a case it had filed at the Environment and Land Court against Swahili Beach Hotel and its proprietors. And as Hassan Mugambi now reports from Kwale, area leaders there are now calling on locals to pursue peaceful ways of resolving land disputes.
Amri ya serikali kijaja moja tu, wananchi wapimiwe ardhi yao. Ona sheria ishakuisha hapa. Hapa ndo wizi waanza hapa. Idadi ikija huwa majina yajulikana turn over ya ardhi hapo, kwanza ni ekareji ngapi, kisha ni watu wangapi. Hapa tushajulikana watu 80. List ishapatikana ofisi ya chief sasa hii. Ya sabu chief. Sisi imani yetu yatuambia kazi tushafanya hapa. Sasa udhaifu unakuja hapa. Huyu sabu chief naye huwa ni kibaraka huyu. Sasa mimi nitakuwa hadui hapa. Sasa mkutanoni siitwi, huwa anapigwa chenga, wanaitwa wengine. Akija hapa atakiwa kamati ambaye atakuja lala pale, watu wazungumza, kimalizo atapiga kofi, amepewa chupa maji, uende zake. Huyo ndio mwana kamati ya sabu chief sasa. Na ndio mtindo utafanywa hapa hivi sasa.
Where you can have issues to do with corruption is where you have duty bearers working in the national or the county government, working in cahoots with the agents, call them brokers, land brokers, to facilitate fraudulent transfer of land, where public land has been subdivided and sold to individuals. And you cannot do that unless you have people working in the various levels of government to work with you.
There is lots of human rights violations. The area is susceptible to issues of land grabbing, and these complaints come in the form of community members who complain or accuse duty bearers at local level, such as the area chiefs, the MCA, and other community cartels for soliciting certain amounts to illegally obtain land. So that is what is happening right now, and it's all about really demolishing structures in informal settlements and putting up new structures that are termed modern.
Kwa mashamba sijamiliki shamba, bali nimerithi shamba. Natamani sana kununua shamba kwa sababu kwanza shamba la urithi ni la watu wengi. Alafu changamoto niliyokuta pale kwa sababu lile ni la familia, mimi na ndugu zangu. Na mimi tayari nina familia yangu. Shamba yenyewe ilikuwa sio kubwa, ni kama ekari 3. Tuko watu 8. Unaona? Na kila mmoja ana familia yake. Sasa hiyo ukija ukisema unaigawa unapata ka portion kidogo sana cha hiyo shamba. Mimi nikijiangalia binafsi siwezi kujikimu mimi na familia yangu.
A resident of Kiambu County is in a fix after falling prey to a fraudulent land transaction resulting in the loss of 2.7 million shillings. Unbeknownst to him, the purported owner was a shrewd fraudster, and despite engaging the services of a lawyer to conduct due diligence, the victim adds to the alarming statistics of land fraud in the country.
First of all, succession can get a bit complicated if not properly handled. So then when you find if someone is not being properly advised through the processes, and you see at this point of succession, these people are vulnerable. They'll just try and rely on whoever looks like they're going to give them a solution. Without proper transparency in these processes, those disputes will not be properly resolved.
Fortunately, there is hope on the horizon. Transparency International Kenya, through the Land and Corruption in Africa Phase 2 project, is striving to create a different reality for all Kenyans.
Over time, we have seen a lot of challenges within the sector, and I think people, even cartels, take advantage of people and the community, because one, the main challenge has always been access to information, or citizens not being able to access information, or even not having the knowledge on some of the basic things. And that is why one of the approaches we have under the project is creating awareness on land rights and where some of these solutions can be gotten from.
Kwa hivyo hilo nalo ni tatizo. Kwa hivyo information gap ni issue, na pendekezo langu kwanza ni kwamba kuna haja hii ministry ya mashamba ikuwe pia nayo inafanya hamasa kwa jamii. Kwa wanakuja na kuelezea pale chini.
Matters around land are very complex. Following a case, a land case, might take you years. In Kwale, there are many cases of double titling. There are many cases where an indigenous person may have their allotment letter, but someone else from other parts of the county has got the title. That has been very evident, especially in the mining sector.
For the first phase, we saw the project being able to illuminate the different faces or perspectives of corruption within the African context. Mostly when we look at this project as Land and Corruption Phase 2.
We do a lot of outreach and awareness because, like I mentioned, we believe that an informed citizenry have the capacity to, push for reforms in the land governance sector, and for us as institutions just to come in and complement the efforts that the communities themselves, are initiating. Currently, as we speak, because currently we have ongoing the review of the National Land Policy, in Transparency International Kenya is part and parcel of that process. And the responses we always receive from the community is that public participation is being done, but the major question is how effective is it? How meaningful is it?
So mostly when we look at this project as Land and Corruption Phase 2, we aspire within the project to see that mostly citizens know their basic rights towards land, and they can be able to notice land injustices towards them, towards other people within their community, and largely they can be able to protect themselves against these corruption practices for their future generations.
On matters pertaining land governance, I think and believe that Transparency International is extremely well positioned. Well positioned because, first and foremost, it's a well-known organization throughout. Everybody in this country called the Republic of Kenya knows who Transparency International is. There in the past, they were well known for raising their voices whenever corruption cases came up. Just the mention of Transparency International raises everybody's attention. So I think, yes, that it is the organization to use or to work through when you're dealing with matters to do with land corruption, and actually broadly when it comes to civic education.
If you are a stakeholder and you are involved in matters of land, I would recommend that you get to, you visit all land offices. Get as much information as you can on the land that you live in. Get as much information as you can on your rights to own land. Get as much information as you can on anything and everything pertaining to land, because land is a sensitive issue, very, very sensitive issue. There are people who live in land and they are believed to own the land, yet the land is not theirs.
Land Corruption Project ambayo iko under TI imefanya mambo mengi sana kwangu binafsi. Kwanza mimi binafsi imeniwezesha, imeniempower, ninajua masuala ya ardhi yakoje, ninajua ni jinsi gani naweza kufuatilia masuala mazima ya ardhi, kutoka kumiliki, kama ni kufanya succession, ni kununua hizo procedure zote za land sasa hivi, kwa ule ufahamu ambao nimekuzwa na TI kutokana na sensitization training kama TOT. Hizo mimi zimenikuza uwezo kiasi cha kwamba elimu yao ndio ninayoitumia na mimi kuwasaidia wale vulnerable huku chini.
Even though the process to alleviate land corruption in Kenya has just begun, we believe that every journey starts with a single step. The Land and Corruption in Africa Phase 2 project is undoubtedly a step in the right direction for our nation and its people.
Mimi binafsi sipendi ufisadi, manake unaturudisha nyuma.
Ufisadi wa ardhi Kenya ni donda sugu, ni lazima ukomeshwe.
Ufisadi Kenya ni donda sugu, lazima umalizwe.